I celebrate you, you celebrate me. With our hand in hand, we are walking in our destiny. Come on and let me sing, yeah, celebration time. Ooh, yeah, it's a celebration.
Hey, hello, and thank you for joining us on the Tammy Tuff Show. It is a great day to be alive. You know, I'm excited this morning about our guest because Mr. Cedrick Langston is going to bless you. He's going to be transparent about his life. One of the things that I love about you so much is that you're able to just sit back and say, you know what, I messed up. I take responsibility for this, and life goes on. You put this in a wonderful book. Thank you for joining us on this morning.
Thank you for having me.
It's just a great day to be alive because you know what it feels like to be, I guess you could say, locked up with no freedom. Tell us a little bit about who you are and your journey.
Okay, first of all, my name is Cedrick Langston. I was born and raised on the southwest side of Chicago. I came to Mississippi in 87, well, 85. Mm-hmm. My mom them sent me here. I came back down here, went to school. I went on to go to college for a year and a half, and then I went back home and started dipping and dabbing in some things.
Now, when you say dipping and dabbing, come on, you got to be real with me, because there's some people that, you know, they need to get free this morning. Tell us a little bit. What were you things that you weren't supposed to be?
Exactly. You know, with as far as the drugs and things of that nature, and the things that sent me to the penitentiary.
Okay.
And I eventually started doing a lot of other things, you know, and it's like the drugs, the streets is progressive like that, you know, whereas it'll draw you into it, and when you think that you have shaken it, something else comes and pulls you right back in. So the choices and decisions that we make in life really are the most important things, because the choices that I made, I'm not proud of them, but then I'm not ashamed of them, because I had to go through what I went through in order to be where I'm at today. And it's only through the grace, because if it wasn't for His mercy and His grace and Him keeping His arm around me, I wouldn't be here today. And I'm 48 years, well, I'll be 48 years old in September. And my journey it's been a journey, you know, and through all the hardship and pain, my parents, they're still together, and they have been very supportive. My brothers, they have been very supportive, and you know, I've had some hard times, and I lost my son in 2004. I was incarcerated at the time, and
did that shake you? How did you feel?
Well, it made me feel real bad, because I didn't spend the time with my son that I felt like I should, because even when he was here and I was there with him, I was the streets. I was drawn to the streets. I was doing the things in the streets, and I didn't spend the time with him that I should. And then when I got the phone call, I was on lockdown at the time, and the chaplain came to my cell and he said, we need to talk. And he pulled me into his office, and actually it was me and my brother's birthday. I have a twin brother, and it was on our birthday. So the first thing that came to my mind, my son Ray Sean, or either my brother, something had happened to one of my brothers. And when I got in his office, he was like, I got some bad news. And I was like, Fred? He was like, no. I was like, Ray Sean? He was like, no. I said, my other brothers? He was like, no. I said, well, then who? And he said, Coy. And I was like, oh, no, not my son. And it was just a crushing feeling. And then when I made it back to my cell, and this was in 2004, I prayed and I asked the Lord, I said, if you make a way for me to be able to get out of this situation, I promise that I'll do what's right. And it didn't happen right then and there, because I still had some more years to serve. I didn't get out until September 2009. But he kept his arm around me throughout that, because the Mississippi Department of Correction is not nothing nice, and it's a whole lot of things that goes on within the system that you don't read about or you don't hear about it. You might hear about bits and pieces of it, but it's a violent environment because of the things that they have set up, you know, and the environment is always hostile because of the heat, and then brothers, they don't have anything to really look forward to because you're working for free, and it's hard to basically try to stay focused on things when you got the strong preying on the weak. Yeah. And that's the type of environment that's set up in the Mississippi Department of Corrections. So it's something that people need to know about, because the free labor is still going on in the Mississippi Department of Corrections. You know, I work the field for free in the Mississippi Department.
How did
of
that
Corrections.
make you feel as a person?
It made me have patience, first of all, and then it made me humble, because here you are in a controlled environment and you don't have any control over anything, and you must do this in order to be able to be out and have a little freedom. Because if you refuse to not go to work, refuse to not go out in the fields, then they lock you down. And doing lockdown is something that I wouldn't want anybody to or wish that on anyone, because it's hard time being confined in a box and with the feeding, you know, and then the noise all through the night, guys setting fires, flooding, and it's just a crazy environment. So I had to humble myself, and then I applied a lot of understanding to my situation, because I knew that the choices and decisions that I made in life put me in that situation. So I had to try to do what was better, and I had set a goal when I first got incarcerated that I was going to go try to get to a school camp and accomplish me a few things while I was there. And I did that.
Amen. I want to stop you right there, because you said something that was so powerful. You set a goal. We'll be right back, because I want to take, you know, that and just really expound on it, how important it is, no matter where you are in life. The lowest point, you can't go anywhere else but up. And so we're going to set some goals, and I want you to be able to minister to someone that's watching right now of how they can get out of that dry spot that they're in. We'll be right back.
Attention Mississippi and surrounding areas. It's the $39 vehicle acquisition event at Car City Used Car Superstore in Tupelo. If you've got just $39 to put down, you can take over payments as low as $79 a month and drive the vehicle of your dreams today during our grand opening celebration. Our big selection means a price and payment to fit any budget. Every make, every model with guaranteed credit approval. We say yes, you're approved. Drive away today. $39 down and take over payments as low as $79 a month at Car City in Tupelo, where you come first.
Hey, if you just joined us on this morning, we're talking to author Cedrick Langston of Life Goes On. And I'm so just really excited and very proud of you that you beat the odds. Many times when, you know, young men, African-American men are, you know, I'm just going to say this, incarcerated, they come out, and the stigma, the stereotype is they don't know how to deal with the life. So they end up back in prison. Doing the same thing on the streets, in jail, but you beat the odds. And now you are an author. And we stopped a few minutes ago in regards, we're talking about goal setting. Was this a goal that you one day wanted to put your life story and write a book?
Well, actually, a friend of mine, which is Cartavia Agnew, another author of one of the books from Mastermind Publications, we were sitting around, we used to sit around and we used to read a lot of Triple Crown, Terry Woods, and different urban books. And we just used to toss it around, and he was like, man, we need to do something, we need to do something. And before I left, he came up with the idea. He said, man, I'm gonna try something, and I'm gonna let you know what's going on with it. So he came up with the idea to come up with a publication company and started here in Mississippi. And
now, what city is it out of in Mississippi?
Guntown.
What a name, Guntown, Mississippi. Wow.
Yeah. And it was just something that he was inspired by it, and like I said, everyone has a story to tell, and we used to sit around and just tell stories, you know, and you know, when you get a lot of men together, we lie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We sit around. Yeah, we sit around and create different stories, and fortunately, we were able to be around a lot of guys that knew how to take what was being said and put it on paper, and that was something that he was also looking at. You know what I'm saying? He was like, man, these guys in here, they writing these rap songs, they writing these different books. Cause see, while you in the hole, you don't have too much to do but sit in your closed cell, and guys used to sit back and write, and then they'll pass the books around on a tier, you know, and everybody like, man, who did this, who did that? So, you know, it was something that we said that we was going to do once I got out. And but while I was incarcerated, I completed 2 trades. I got a sheet metal trade and body and fender trade while I was there. But I had set that goal while I was in the county jail. When I get to the penitentiary, I'm going to do something constructive with my time. And true and all, some things happened where I ended up in a hole from time to time because of the environment.
Now, when you say hole, you have to help us out now. You're saying lockdown, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Segregation.
Okay.
Segregation, and that's just part of the system. And sometimes it is by choice that you get sent to the hole, and then sometimes it's just you're a victim of circumstance, because there's always something going on in the system, you know. And like I said, a lot of things they don't share with the public, you know, but it's so much going on in the MDOC that if we start looking more into or staying in tune with our family members, those that are incarcerated, then we'll be more in tune with what's really going on, because they're going to keep a cover over a lot of things that are happening. But some things that they can't hide, just like right now, as we speak, a few days ago, a few situations happened in Wilkerson County and I believe in Meridian, you know, where they got the gang banging, you know, and a couple of guys got hurt. And see, they're not putting that on the news because they don't want us to know that this is going on. And the reason why it's going on is because how they got to have the system set up. I might have 3 years, but you have me housed on a zone with guys with 50, 60, and life sentences. You know, so the system is designed to keep us trapped in it, you know, and they're not, because they feel like that because I committed a crime that I'm gonna stay a criminal all my life. But I'm here today to be an example to those that are still incarcerated and those that are on their way, to show them that you don't have to make the same choices and decisions that a lot of us have made.
With that being said, look into the camera right now and just encourage your brother. You said they're on their way. They're making those crazy decisions, whether it's gang banging or drugs, whatever it is, you know, robbery. Just share your heart right now.
Well, what I want to say to the brothers and the sisters out there, you know, it's a better way. You know, if you feel like that the only choices that you have is to sell drugs or to get out here and rob and steal or whatever it is, then you're making the wrong decision, because jobs are scarce, but it's always something else out there to do besides crime. And I'm a living witness to it, and it's only through the grace. But first and foremost, we have to have Christ in our life in order to be able to maintain, because without Christ is nothing. You know, the choices and decisions that we make is what sets our future. And if I decide that, well, I don't want to do anything today, I'm gonna just go out here and run around in the streets, then I know from life experiences and from seeing other people that the streets is not where it's at. And through Life Goes On, my book, it tells a story about a young man, his name is Marcel. He grew up watching his father do certain things in the street. And when his father got killed, he didn't know anything else. And he was used to a certain way of life. And when seeing his mother and his sister struggle, he took to the streets first by stealing, breaking in houses and stuff like that. And it's the story that's being told. And after doing the few little things that he was doing, he was introduced to different people in the street, and the stuff that he was doing started to progress. And then it went on and on to where now he's doing a whole lot of other things. He's into robbing, he's into murder, he's into the drugs. But I'm not going to tell the book. I need you to go get the book.
Amen. Amen.
And you can find it at www.masterminds publication with an S on minds and an S on publication.com.
That's good. That's wonderful. We'll be right back.
Attention Mississippi and surrounding areas. It's the $39 vehicle acquisition event at Car City Used Car Superstore in Tupelo. If you've got just $39 to put down, you can take over payments as low as $79 a month and drive the vehicle of your dreams today during our grand opening celebration. Our big selection means a price and payment to fit any budget. Every make, every model with guaranteed credit approval. We say yes, you're approved. Drive away today. $39 down and take over payments as low as $79 a month at Car City in Tupelo, where you come first.
All right, we're back, and we're still, discussing Life Goes On. You talked about Marcel and how he was just a victim, and I say of being in the environment. And I'm one of those people that believe, unless you have a great support and you have someone to pull you out of that environment, you will do exactly what you live in. So tell us just how we can connect with you and getting a copy of this book, be it Twitter, Facebook, and just what Mastermind Publications entails.
Okay, well, first of all, you can follow us on Twitter. You can catch up with us on Facebook, and then we have our own website, which is www.masterminds.publications with an S on minds and an S on publication.com, where we have a listing of all our books. We have a listing of the criteria and what's required for new authors, because we are looking for new literature as far as children literature, fiction, non-fiction, biographies, autobiographies, anything, poetry, any kind of, we looking for new authors in that form and fashion that want to take the opportunity to express themselves through word. We've been in business now for almost 3 years, and Cartavia, as I stated, he's a heck of a guy. I'm talking about.
He's a visionary, right?
Yes.
Okay.
He came up with a vision, and we're trying to put it together. And
now you've actually been on the East Coast.
Yes. We March. Matter of fact, in March, we took out on a tour. Me and one of the little guys. His name is Lucius. We hopped in the van.
In faith.
And we hit Atlanta first.
Of course.
But when we got to Atlanta, I didn't really know any people there, and I didn't know the the spots to hit or anything. So we stayed in Atlanta for a couple of days. After we didn't have any luck, I told Lou, I said, well, we headed to Chicago because that's where I'm from. We headed to Chicago, and when we got to Chicago, we hit bases with a lot of people that I knew, and they were supportive. But when we left Chicago, we headed to Philly. And there's some guys out in Philly. They own a store. These brothers, they basically set the trend for urban fiction. A brother named Hakeem and Tyson. They own a store called Black and Nobel. It's right in the heart of North Philly. You can also reach them at blackandnobel.com. And these guys are some real powerful, supportive black brothers, and they showed us mad love when we got out there. And we also bumped into some guys in New York from Black Star. And it's a young lady out of Baltimore. Her name is, I'm trying to think of her name. Well, anyway, she has a store called The Cartel. And we stopped by there and we spoke with her for a minute. But the East Coast, it was real good for us out there, and we had fun. We had fun.
So God really showed you favor?
Yes, He did.
Yes, to go back home, to let them know that I'm alive and well.
Exactly.
And look what God has done. Now, you all, not only do you have your book, but you have some up-and-coming authors as well. This is another one of your posters.
Yes.
And here, tell us a little bit about this one.
Okay, well, Josh A. Bell is one of our new up-and-coming authors, and the title of his book is called Jacktown.
Okay.
And it'll be coming to us in September. It'll be released in September. And we also have another brother. His name is Rico Malone.
Okay.
Blood is Thicker. His book will also be available in September. And we have a couple other books that's coming up. The sequel to Life Goes On. The sequel to Street Promise, which is written by Cartavia, which is called Words in the Street. And then we have, Cartavia has a couple of other books that might be available sometime soon, which is Ghetto Empire. And then we have a couple of other new authors that hopefully will be signing soon. And so,
wow. You know what I love so much? Because when I began to look at these, I could hear people saying, oh my God, he has the jewelry, he has the bling, they have tattoos, but God doesn't see that. God looks at our heart. Exactly. And many times we miss the people that we need to connect to because we're so judgmental. We're so critical. And if you're one of those people right now that are watching me, I'm just going to say this because it is the Tammy Tubbs Show. You really truly need to take inventory of your life. How many times have you messed up? How many times have you really, been perfect? None. And so we have to stop being so judgmental of other people. This is a wonderful project. And God has really blessed you all to be able to touch, those that are incarcerated, those that have a voice, because the most talented people are sometimes the people who feel like giving up, but they just need to be able to see someone that gives them the strength and the hope that I can do that too.
Exactly.
And I want to say this because you actually, started this while you were incarcerated, your darkest hour, right?
Yes, we did.
And so sometimes you can feel like giving up, but just think if you wouldn't have this wonderful book that is empowering other people to let them know that life goes on.
Exactly.
So, I just wanted to really say that because I could literally hear people say, oh my God, I can't believe that she's saying that. And you have to be transparent to connect with people. We all have a story to tell, but many times we try to hide because I don't want people to know that I've gone through it. I believe that in this day and hour, in order to connect with people, you have to be real.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the best way that I can say it. Your thoughts?
Well, I would like to say this right here, that we're using what we're doing to put back, not only to help brothers that are incarcerated that don't have any type of support, but we're also using it to be able to put back into the community, because we're actually looking for some sponsors. We need some sponsors to help us sponsor this back to school giveaway that we're trying to put together.
And when is that?
Well, hopefully the first or second week in August, right before school starts back. We're trying to to get some things together where we can get out in the park and give away some book bags and some pencils and pens and tablets and stuff like that. So we're actually trying to do some things in the community as well. And we want to give back because we know that by leading it as an example, then you surely to get some followers. And see, because if we just get one or two,
you've made an impact.
Exactly.
And I'm so grateful that you all are doing this, because many times when men come out of the prison system, they feel like they're in a world of their own, but you're giving them a voice to be able to help someone else. I mean, street promise, to be able to help someone. Life goes on, to see that I can make it. I don't have to be a victim of the system. I can make it.
And then not only that, Tammy, we want to use, even though these urban fixers and they're talking about the streets, we want to use it as a form of information to be able to inform the reader that this is actually going on in your neighborhood or right next door, and for them to not keep turning a blind eye to things that is happening. I'm not saying that if you see something going on to draw stuff to your house where it could affect your family or bring some type of bad vibe into your home. I'm not saying do that. I'm just saying to make you aware of these things that's going on, to inform you so you can sit down with your children and say, well, these guys did this. Or the character in the book, well, you see what this guy is doing, you don't have to do this. You know what I'm saying? And then, because it starts at home. If we don't start teaching our children at home, then where does it start at? They're going to get it from the streets if we don't give it to them at home. So, we want our literature to be used as a form of information, to be able to inform our readers of the things that's going on, the things that we've been through, so our children won't have to go through it.
That's it. That's enough in itself. Well, guess what? Our time is up. Thank you so very much for joining us.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure and an honor, I tell you. Thank you all so very much for joining us. Stay tuned for our next segment. Guess what, you guys? Guess what? Guess what? The Tammy Tells, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. We'll see you next time. Be blessed.
You're loving on me, and together we will live life happily. Come on and let me say celebration time. Ooh, it's a celebration. Celebration time. Ooh, it's a celebration. Oh.